All right, today we're diving into two of the most incredible, fundamental processes in all of biology. You can think of them as the twin engines that build, repair, and diversify pretty much every living thing on our planet. So let's jump right in.
Really think about that for a second. Every single one of us, every plant, every animal, we all started as just one single cell. So how in the world do you get from one cell to trillions? And beyond that, how does life make sure that a species isn't just a bunch of identical clones, but a vibrant, varied population that can survive?
Well, the answer to both those huge questions comes down to these two master plans we're talking about, mitosis and meiosis. One is basically a biological copy machine, all about stability. The other? It's all about shuffling the genetic deck to create something new. Let's break down that first plan.
So first up is mitosis. The best way to think about this one is as life's super precise, high-fidelity copy machine. Its whole job is to keep things exactly the same, to maintain the status quo.
And if you need a really simple way to lock this in your brain, just remember this phrase, copy and replace. That's the core mission of mitosis right there. It takes one parent cell and creates two daughter cells that are perfect, genetically identical duplicates, clones. Okay, so what's the point of this perfect copy machine? Well, it turns out it has three absolutely crucial jobs. First, growth. You got to make more cells to get bigger, right? Second, repair, for replacing cells that get old, worn out, or damaged. And third, for some organisms, this is the whole shebang. It's how they reproduce.
And this quote right here, this is the key. This is how multicellular life, like us, is even possible. You start as that one fertilized egg, and then mitosis kicks in, just copying and copying, producing billions of new, genetically identical cells that build everything, your heart, your brain, your skin. Every cell is a perfect copy of that very first one. And you can see this process in action everywhere, all the time. When you get a paper cut, it's mitosis that's busy making new skin cells to patch things up. It's constantly at work in your bone marrow churning out new red blood cells. And for an organism like an amoeba, mitosis is reproduction. It just splits in two, creating a brand new, identical amoeba.
So, if you're going to take one thing away about mitosis, let it be this. It's all about stability. Its job is to make sure every new cell gets the exact same genetic instruction manual. This maintains what scientists call the diploid chromosome number, which is just a fancy way of saying the full, complete set of genetic material needed to function properly.
All right, we've got the copy machine down. Now, let's switch gears and talk about its wild cousin, meiosis. If mitosis is the copy machine, meiosis is the variety generator. Its purpose isn't to make clones, no way. It's to create diversity. And just like before, we've got a killer memory aid for this one too. Shuffle and have. This is the perfect way to think about it. Meiosis takes the genetic deck of cards, shuffles it all up, and then deals out hands that only have half the cards. So why would you do that? Why shuffle and have everything? Well, it has one very specific, very important job, preparing cells for sexual reproduction. Meiosis creates these special cells called gametes. You know them as sperm and eggs. And these cells are called haploid, which is a key term. It just means they have exactly half the normal number of chromosomes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How does having the number of chromosomes maintain it? It sounds totally backward, right? But it's actually beautiful, elegant math. By creating these haploid cells, meiosis makes sure that when a sperm and an egg combine during fertilization, the new organism gets the correct, full diploid number restored. One half from each parent makes a perfect whole. Pretty smart. But meiosis doesn't just cut the chromosome number in half. It actively shuffles them up. It uses these really clever mechanisms like crossing over, where pairs of chromosomes literally trade little pieces of their genetic code. And then there's independence assortment, which randomly sorts all these shuffled chromosomes into the new cells. The result? Every single sperm or egg cell is 100% genetically unique. This, right here, is the engine of variety.
Okay, so we've met the copy machine and the variety generator. Now it's time for the main event. Let's put them side by side and see how they stack up.
First, and this is the biggest difference, their whole reason for being, their purpose. Mitosis is for the day-to-day business of keeping an individual organism alive. Growing, repairing. But meiosis, it has only one job, sexual reproduction.
When you look at the end result of mitosis, it's super straightforward. One cell divide one time to produce two perfect, identical diploid cells. A clean copy. That's it.
Now compare that to meiosis. Whoa.
One cell goes through 2 rounds of division, and the outcome is 4 genetically distinct haploid cells. No copies to be found here, only unique, one-of-a-kind combinations.
This table just lays it all out, crystal clear. I mean, look at the stark contrast in every single row. Mitosis gives you 2 identical cells, maintains the chromosome number, and generates 0 variation. Meiosis gives you 4 unique cells, cuts the chromosome number in half, and creates a massive amount of variation. They are, for all intents and purposes, functional opposites.
So why? Why does life need 2 completely opposite strategies? Why not just pick one? Well, the answer has profound implications for every living thing on this planet, including us.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it all. Without genetic variation, evolution just stops. Imagine a species of identical clones. They're incredibly vulnerable, right? If a new disease pops up that can kill one of them, it can kill all of them. Game over.
And this is where meiosis steps in as the hero of the species. By constantly shuffling that genetic deck, it creates the raw material, the diversity, that natural selection can work with. This variation is what allows a population to adapt and survive when the environment inevitably changes.
So in the end, you've got this absolutely perfect balance. Mitosis provides the stability you need to build and maintain a single healthy individual, and at the same time, meiosis creates the variation the entire species needs to survive in the long run. You need both. It's a beautiful system.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a final thought. Right this very second, mitosis is hard at work in your body, healing a tiny cut you didn't even know you had, replacing old cells. But it was meiosis, happening in your parents long ago, that created the unique genetic combination that is you. One keeps you alive day to day, the other made your existence possible in the first place. So, which one do you think is more important? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining me.